Getting spooky. Democrats haunted by the echoes of Hillary Clinton. That's from Politico. Kamala went from being the next Obama to being Hillary. They're worried she's running the same play it safe campaign. Up to this point, she's had about the same number of events as Hillary, and Crooked had pneumonia. Since the DNC, Kamala's spent half of her time in D.C., a third of it without any public appearances. Trump is everywhere. Anxious Dems wonder why Harris isn't. Kamala's been a ghost, and even Vegas is spooked. Trump's up by 7 points in the betting markets. Look at that. And CNN is gearing up for a horror show.
What happens if the polls are slightly off? Remember, back in 2020, the polls underestimated Donald Trump. So what happens if we have a similar error across those key battleground states? Well, if that happens again, look at this. Donald Trump carries all of these Great Lake battleground states. He carries Nevada as well. Of course, he carries Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina. And he gets, to get this, 312 electoral votes. So the bottom line is, if we have an error like we did 4 years ago, Donald Trump is going to win this election. Kamala Harris is going to lose.
Joy turning into dread. Even Saturday night feels it. Watch.
Okay. He's out there. He's doing his thing, whatever that may be.
Okay, come on, just relax. You know, you haven't had a night off in 3 months. Do you want to watch something less stressful like the Menendez Brothers show?
I don't know, Dougie. I kind of wish I had picked Josh right now.
Oh, Josh Shapiro?
No, Josh. Cabernet.
Look, Tim'll be fine. It's not like he's going to say something crazy.
I've become friends with school shooters.
Obama world doesn't find it funny. Remember, Kamala was his idea. David Axelrod says Harris needs to step it up. It's only the most difficult oral exam on the planet for the most difficult job. So Obama's ordering Harris to do more interviews. And the last time a Democrat didn't listen to Obama, they got cooed. So Harris began a media blitz this week. This is how 60 Minutes went.
It seems that Prime Minister Netanyahu is not listening.
Well, Bill, the work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
I don't know what she just said there. Even 60 Minutes told her she's not living in the real world.
My plan is about saying that when you invest in small businesses, you invest in the middle class, and you strengthen America's economy. Small businesses are part of the backbone of America's economy.
But pardon me, Madam Vice President, the question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes.
But we're dealing with the real world here.
But the real world includes...
How are you going to get this through Congress?
You know, when you talk quietly with a lot of folks in Congress, they know exactly what I'm talking about.
No one knows what she's talking about. Does Kamala even know what she's talking about? She was on the Call Her Daddy podcast, and she doesn't even understand her own plans.
Another thing that I'm really focused on is small businesses and startups, and giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction, because right now it's $5,000 and you can't start up anything, any small business with $5,000.
Does Kamala not know what a tax deduction is? She thinks she's giving small business startups 50 grand. She doesn't know the difference between a tax deduction and a handout. Kamala's also never heard of the draft.
I want to pose this question more to you and the Daddy Gang, but one of the biggest conversations in this year's election revolves around a woman's body.
Yep.
I want to take a moment, and can we try to think of any law that gives the government the power to make a decision
I know what you're going to ask.
about a man's body? Let's just pause.
No.
Is there any law?
No. It's no.
Besides the draft, maybe vax mandates? Even Andrea Mitchell admits people are realizing she's a lightweight.
think they've got to double down on doing more interviews and serious interviews. She's got such a big problem with men. I think there's an undercount of the Trump vote. I think there is misogynation in all of this, black and white men. Big problem, but also the business world. They don't think she is serious. They don't think she's a heavyweight.
Kamala is doing Colbert tomorrow, a guy who held a fundraiser for the Biden-Harris campaign. Then she's doing The View, another love fest, and then Howard Stern. The last Democrat nominee who went on Stern dropped out. These are all safe spaces that make her look like she's getting out there, but she's just hiding in plain sight. We're in 2 proxy wars, the border's wide open, prices in crime are high, and she's doing frivolous sit-downs with friends. NBC says most of these sit-downs are just for the vibes. But the vibes are scary. The Democrat Party is being haunted by Hillary's ghost, and Kamala keeps seeing Biden's. Joe won't stop bigfooting her and bragging about how close they were.
President Biden just keeps tying her to his administration.
Yes, I can tell you that that was a surprise to the Harris campaign. They found out just a few minutes before that the president would be doing that. A lot of Harris aides did not find that to be helpful. They do not want Joe Biden to be popping up in that way. They also don't love the idea of him reminding people of their strong connection.
How dare the Biden tie Harris to the Biden-Harris administration? Doesn't he know how unpopular they are? It's like Kamala inherited all of his money and now wants nothing to do with them. But Biden keeps haunting her from his grave. He's insisting on campaigning for her in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. And the Harris campaign's like, you know, Joe, you don't really have to do that. It's okay. And Biden says, no, it's my pleasure. And after I campaign for you and remind everybody how you co-signed my agenda, I'm going to Africa. Joe Biden in Africa is going to attract a lot of attention. Biden stumbling across the Serengeti maybe isn't the kind of thing the Harris campaign's looking forward to. Biden on an African safari while the Southeast is under water, drowning in hurricanes, no good. A month before the election, Harris is trying to erase herself from the Biden-Harris administration and completely change her media strategy. Now, ask any political professional if pulling a 180 in the final stretch is a good tactic. That's not what you do when you're ahead. That's what you do when you're down and you're scrambling for something that sticks. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.